What's up guys, Woo here, back once again with another Division 2 build video, and today I'm bringing you True Patriot. Yes, the True Patriot build for PvE. And there are many iterations how to roll with this. I mean, JWOOO Gaming has just done a bit of gameplay last night. Funny enough, I was doing the bloody same. And yes, this is a different take on his build, that's for sure. This one is 4-piece True Patriot. You can see in the background, this is heroic content. I'm the DPS guy on the team. I'll do a bit of run, bit of gun. There's no shield. I know JWOOO Gaming's video, it does have a shield. There's no shield with this, but I'm dealing over 85% explosive damage on this build. It is really strong, and this is a DPS explosive build. I love this. I want to share it, and I hope you enjoy it. And obviously, guys, obviously this is a template. Take it further. You guys are better than me. Show me what you're made of, guys. Let's do this. Yes, guys, Woo's back with another Division 2 build video, and this one again, you've seen the footage. This is True Patriot 4-piece, and is a really strong, sexy build for PvE. You guys again know me, I like my skills. I love dealing damage from my skills. However, I like to mix things up, and today this is bringing you DPS, explosions, and over 300k armor, which does help on this build, and it is nowhere near min-max. It can be even stronger. Let's take a look at the... Here you go, guys. This is my 14.6.2. Yes, 14.6.2, which feels a bit in reverse for me. I'm usually a 2.6.14 kind of build. But this is, yeah, this is my offensive True Patriot, dealing damage with your skills. And yes, they complement the build and the setup very well. Now, I'm rolling with the Demolitionist Specialization. And I'm rolling with that because I want that 25% explosive damage. It helps me, helps the build, and it complements the build very nicely. So Demolitionist, in my opinion, is the go-to on this build. But by all means, you know me, screw it, you roll whatever you want to roll with. I'm enjoying this, it works for me. It may not work for you, but it does me. Anyway, Demolitionist. I'm rolling 14 offensive stats, 6 defensive stats, and 2 utility stats. For me, that's filthy. It should be the other way around, but anyway, we digress. I have 21k base damage on my primary weapon. There is 935 RPM on my Pyromaniac. There's 304.5k armor, 43.5k health, and 133 skill power. Okay, now let's go through the build, and I'll explain as I go through how it synergizes with my setup. Now, the mask is a Fenris Group AB mask, and this is nice for me. I'm rolling with this for several reasons. First reason is I need that 10% assault rifle damage. Again, that's a no-brainer. You need that on the build because it synergizes perfectly with the setup. You're rolling with an AR, so you need Fenris somewhere. I have 52% damage to elites, which is a decent number. I'll take that all day long. And 6% crit hit chance. And again, that's nice because I've built a lot of crit into this build. I have the talent hard hitting, which is 25% damage to elites. And again, that synergizes perfectly with PvE. For PvP, this won't work unless you're farming landmarks. But this is not that kind of build. This is, again, a team-orientated DPS explosive build in a group, and it works really well. Now, the chest piece. The chest piece is the 4-piece of True Patriot. And again, if we're not too sure what True Patriot does, let's go through the requirements and the bonuses. So, set bonus 2 is 10% total armor. Set bonus 3 is red, white, and blue. When you shoot an enemy, apply a debuff to them. Debuffs are applied in the order red, white, and blue, cycling every 2 seconds. Red decreases damage dealt by the enemy. White restores armor to friendlies that shoot this enemy. And blue boosts skill haste to friendlies that shoot this enemy. Now, again, you can see how it synergizes perfectly in a group. Solo, it's a bit of meh, in all honesty, but a group, this is where you will see the benefits and the bonuses for your teammates as well. And 4, which is set bonus 4, full flag. Anyone dealing damage to an enemy that has all 3 debuffs will deal 50% damage to other nearby enemies that have at least one of the debuffs. And again, way I would roll with this is roll with it very tactically, and that is, again, as soon as you get someone on full flag, go to the next NPC, and again, you are just buffing your teammates so they can deal more damage to NPCs. It just makes sense. This is a great support build, not to mention the damage you deal through the setup, and 14 offensive stats means you can cause some carnage on this build. Now, in terms of the attributes, 16% total armor, you can get that obviously a lot higher, that's not a problem. Health 16416, and critical hit damage of 15.5%. Now, the talent Destructive, which is 40% explosive damage, and that is kind of key to the build because I'm going to garner some explosive damage on this build from my setup. So that is key to get that explosive damage on there. And the mods, weapon damage with assault rifle damage 5%, that's a nice one. Armor with explosive resistance, total armor. Skill power, burn damage, and explosive damage. Now, burn damage 1.5%, that does a little bit, but 4.5% explosive damage, that's nice. And then again, it complements the setup perfectly. Now, the holster again is true Patriot. In terms of the attributes, there are 4% critical hit damage and 15% critical hit chance. With this, I want to crit as often as possible to deal some more damage, of course. So that's why I've gone for more crit hit chance on this build. Now, in terms of the two offensive mods, you can see they're both 1.5% weapon damage with 4% assault rifle damage. The knee pads, again, the third piece of true Patriot, and an attribute is 9% critical hit chance, which is a really good roll. 1.5% weapon damage and 4% assault rifle damage. The defensive mod is armor with explosive resistance and total armor. The gloves are true Patriot. It's the final piece of the setup. Now it's 11% assault rifle damage and 14% hazard protection. You don't need hazard protection on there. You could get a little bit more crit on there for about 3.5%. You could also get some health on there, or health on kill, or whatever you choose. I've just had hazard protection, but I wanted more assault rifle damage. I think it rolled with about 3 or 4%, so I've boosted that to 11%, and that puts this pair of gloves in a nice place. And it also has an offensive mod slot, which is weapon damage and assault rifle damage of 4%. Now the backpack, and this is what makes the build tick. It is the Strategic Alignment Backpack, which is China Light Industries Corporation. So the brand set offers me 10% explosive damage. And my skills are not explosive skills. They're not. They could be. They could be. Then it's entirely up to you. This is a template, and it is, again, of course, how you want to roll with this build. As you see when we go through the skills, I'll explain why. But critical hit chance of 7%, 9,000 armor, and 11% weapon damage. Perfect Spark. Damaging enemies with skills or explosives grant plus 20% weapon damage for 15 seconds. You need 9 or more offensive stats to have this talent active on the build. I have 14, happy days. And Hardened, which is 15% more armor. And the skill power mod, again, another nice one for me, which is skill power with explosive damage of 3.5%. Now, with Perfect Spark, again, that's nice. I need 2 skills that are consistently going to keep this talent active. And of course, I've got my weapon to also make that active more often than not. So it's all about synergizing how you want to roll with this. Now we'll go for the skills. I'll explain. I have 2 skills. My first skill is the Assault Turret. Again, 60-second cooldown, 300-second duration. You see the base damage, not a lot. Again, PvP. It's not for PvP, so don't worry. And there are no mods active because my skill power is 133. But I'm using this as a buff for my damage. And again, with this, it offers more than a tickle. That's all this is on the build. It tickles NPCs, but it grants me Perfect Spark. It activates that set attribute, which gives me that extra 20% weapon damage. So that's what the Assault Turret does. You can, if you desire, roll with the Seeker Mine because you've got some nice explosive damage on the build. That is entirely up to you. What I like about this, again, it offers that tick and will consistently have that available, but again, it is up to you. I've rolled with both. I prefer the Assault Turret, but again, its preference is up to you. The second skill is the Striker Drone. Again, this is just base stats of a 60-second cooldown, 300-second duration, damage 1895. But again, like the Assault Turret, offers me that tickle to NPCs. That doesn't just tickle them, it grants me that 20% weapon damage for 15 seconds. And again, with that, it will continually tickle away and proc Perfect Spark. So I'll have, on these two skills, Perfect Spark active for pretty much all the time. And again, yeah, there is a cooldown, I get that. But again, that's where we go to my weapons. My primary weapon is the Pyromaniac. And again, I'll go through the talents and I'll explain why, again, this works and synergizes perfectly with the build and the setup. Pyromaniac, 21k base damage, 40 in the mag, 935 RPM, perfectly ignited. Deal plus 40% weapon damage to burning enemies. After 2 kills, applies burning to the next enemy you hit. Now you see there's no fire on the build, which is fair enough, that's fine. But again, after the second kill, I will put someone on fire, and by doing so, I will grant that extra 40% weapon damage. And again, couple that with Perfect Spark, you're in a good place. So this is how I try and synergize the build. Play strategically. You can go pretty much gung-ho with this build, and it will work very nicely. There's not much sustain, that's the only downside to this build. But in terms of the Pyromaniac, back to the weapon, Allegro, rate of fire, that's key to the build. Stop, drop and roll, while equipped, rolling removes any burn, bleed and poison states effects, can occur once every 60 seconds. And in terms of the mods, accuracy rounds, critical hit chance of 7%, again that's why I'm using the Demolitionist as well, not to mention again that 25% explosive damage, and 5% damage to elites. My secondary is the Merciless. Again, a lot of people do use this, and they use it for one talent and one talent alone, which is Brutality. Well holstered, landing a shot has a 5% chance to deal plus 100% damage as explosive damage. So again, you pair that with the explosive damage on the build, I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place to absolutely shred on this build. And it does proc more than you know. And given you are running a high RPM primary weapon, it will proc a lot of the time. Accuracy, reload speed, weapon handling and stability are the mods that are fixed to this weapon. So Brutality, again, it gives me that chance to deal a lot of insane damage, and it also, yes guys and girls, it also procs Perfect Spark when the Brutality holster talent procs. So yes, so I'm not only getting it from the drone and the turret, also this as well, and obviously Pyromaniac. So the 4 ways how to get this talent to proc. So that Perfect Spark is active pretty much all of the time. That's why this build synergizes really, really well. High explosive damage. And in terms of the sidearm, it is just the standard Diceros special high end. I'm using that because it's the, it is the Demolition Specialization. It offers me in Rhythm. That's no good with this build because, again, it's not my skills doing the damage. However, may I add, this also procs for weapons as well, so it's a decent talent to have. Wascally. While holstered, you are able to resist one ensnare effect. When you do, you remain immune for 5 seconds, can occur once every 60 seconds. And I don't have a revolver drum slot, but damage to elites, headshot damage again. I don't use this, I just use it for the holstered talents. Again, I never use this as a primary weapon whatsoever. It's a pistol, guys, I don't use that. But yeah, that's the build. Now, you may like it, you may not like it, but trust me, it works and it synergizes perfectly with this. Now let's take a look at the stats. So we know about the weapon and the gear talents, we know about that jazz. Let's take a look at this. Weapon damage 21,000. Critic chance 44%, critic damage 44%, headshot damage 55%, I've got a nice 35 meter range, 2.4 second reload time, bit of accuracy, my all weapons damage bonus is 18%, my AR damage is 57%, so you can see I'm hitting quite hard. I got that nice assault rifle damage bonus, which could be a few percent higher as well, so yes guys, it could be even stronger. 82% damage to elites, and that works so nice in the build. It helps you shred for NPCs. You've only seen heroic content in the gameplay. Change this to challenging. It's everyone's mincemeat, and you rinse through enemies like butter. 29% health damage and 83% explosive damage. Nice. That helps really well when Brutality procs. Laughing all the way to the bank. And you can see there's my 305k armor, my 43k health. Health regen is 21.7k. My hazard protection is 14%. My explosive resistance is 7.26%. And this is the build. It is my high explosive true Patriot build for PvE, heroics. You may go down. You may get down in this build, but don't worry, because you hit hard. You hit so hard, you will kill a lot of enemies in this, but more importantly, you proc your teammates, which is what a group activity is all about, in my opinion. So this build is sexy strong for PvE. It is really strong. I'm loving this build. All the pieces synergize nicely. Yes, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. And again, of course, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. You want to see more Division 2 content, please smash and pound the subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.